Welcome to Southeastern 16 presented by FanDuel. Chris Lee and Brian Edwards here. We're going to talk about BYU and Iowa State today. Why are we doing that? Because there's some interest in this if you're an SEC fan. And so for starters, we're SEC guys. We do watch some other teams. We're not as experts on your team as the people who cover the Big 12 are. But we're going to give you the angle on why you should be interested from this game from a national and an SEC standpoint. And then we'll get into the preview of these teams and how they match up a little bit later. Before we do that, just a reminder, we are brought to you by our friends at Game Time Sidekicks, which makes officially licensed stainless steel drinkware. Drink from that 40-ounce tumbler every day. All SEC schools, 350 other universities. Probably got your BYU and Iowa State in there too. Stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, 40-ounce bottles, and shaker cups. SE16 gets you a 20% discount on your entire order at GameTimeSidekicks.com. Brian, this game is of interest because a couple of things. It's more because BYU is in it. And Iowa State has got a shot to make the playoff. That would be through winning the Big 12, which is odds, according to ESPN's FPI, I think 1.7%. I think FanDuel's got it 25-1. So that's your shot if you're Iowa State. And in college football, you never know these days, right? Each week brings you a couple of games that nobody saw coming. So we're not going to count Matt Campbell and Iowa State out yet, especially being that they are at home. On the other hand, BYU is firmly in the playoff chase. It controls its own destiny at 7-0. But, boy, there are going to be some tough games ahead for BYU after this. You got at Texas Tech, TCU at home, at Cincinnati, Central Florida at home. That'll be a little bit easier. But, BYU will only have 4 games remaining after this one. FPI, I think, right now has BYU with a 53% chance to make the playoff. What do we have at FanDuel on the Cougars making the playoff right now, Brian?
Plus 430, risk 100 if you want to win 430. They're plus 650 to win the Big 12. And Iowa State a 2.5-point favorite on Saturday and a minus 122 juice. It's even money if you want BYU plus 2.5 and plus 122 on the money line for the Cougars. The over-under is 49.5.
Yeah, and I think BYU really put itself in this position last week with the win over a really, really good Utah team in a huge rivalry game, the Holy War. BYU has just done some things really well. It's kind of held on to the football, not turned it over a lot. It's been very balanced. It ran for 202 last week, threw for $166 in a win over Utah. So keep in mind, that's part of who they are. BYU just does not beat itself. Iowa State, too, a team very well coached with Matt Campbell. You got one of the premier quarterbacks in the country, or at least one of the well-known ones in Rocco Beck. This is the team that really has had a disappointing last couple of weeks. Iowa State starts out 5-0 and then loses a couple of games, including one it really shouldn't have lost to Colorado. But Iowa State with the big shot right here to regroup and get its goals for the season back in front of it, Brian.
Yeah, they've had 2 weeks to prepare. Whereas BYU is playing its 6th game in 6 weeks. And as you noted, off the biggest rivalry game they have and a hard-fought game, and they had an overtime game the week before. So all the situational factors favor Iowa State, but it's kind of hard to overlook that their 2 stud corners, Jontez Williams and Jeremiah Cooper, they were 5-0 with them and 0-2 without them. And Jeremiah Cooper was first-team All-Big 12 last year. Jontez Williams was second-team All-Big 12 last year. They were both preseason first-team All-Big 12. I mean, your 2 stud veteran cover corners. Cooper had 2 interceptions, 7 pass breakups last year. Williams had 4 interceptions, 5 pass breakups, and so without those 2 guys, they have struggled. Another injury to watch their RB2, Carson Hansen, missed the last game with a concussion. Now, maybe he's going to be okay. Big 12 availability report comes out just like the SEC on Wednesday night. But Hansen, if he can't go, he has rushed for 348 yards this year, 2 touchdowns, 4.4 yards per carry average. So maybe they get him back, but the 2 corners are out for the season, and those have been tough losses for him.
Yeah, the other common denominator in those 2 losses, both on the road.
Correct.
So Iowa State will come home. Also played by the way, in Ireland, as everybody remembers that back in week 1 with a big win at the time over Kansas State. That's lost some luster, but at the time that was certainly a big win. Brian, let's talk about BYU's offense and Iowa State's defense and what should be an interesting matchup. BYU with LJ Martin has run the ball very well this season, and Bear Bachmeier, their quarterback, has also run for 359 yards and 8 scores, so they can get you from multiple places. Iowa State's defense has been fairly respectable against the run, 146 yards given up, 142 given up, 4.4 per carry, 19 points a game overall for Iowa State, and that includes, again, 2 games without their starting corners. Of course, BYU had the quarterback mess before the season with their starting quarterback getting kicked out of school. But this is a team that just is so consistent year in and year out. They regrouped, and Bachmeier's done pretty well. 9 touchdowns, 3 picks. What stands out to you, other than the injury part of this game, when Iowa State's defending BYU here?
Well, LJ Martin, BYU's running backs, having a heck of a year. 774 rushing yards, which leads the Big 12. 4 touchdowns, 6.1 yards per carry average. And Bear Bachmeier, I mean, a true freshman, wears number 47, just a football player. I mean, you gave his stats right there. I mean, his older brother, Hank Bachmeier, had a really good true freshman year at Boise State as well. Those Bachmeier boys, they come ready to play at the collegiate level right away. Yeah, I mean, Bear Bachmeier is a big-time story in the Big 12. He's got this team undefeated. You know, they lose Retzlaff kind of well, I think they were kind of expecting a suspension there, but, didn't know he was going to leave and go to Tulane. And so it was a 3-way battle for quarterback, and Bachmeier won it and has been very, very good from day one. Got his team undefeated. Here we are in late October. And so it's Bear Bachmeier and LJ Martin that are the big concerns for Iowa State, who's got a big D tackle and Dominique Orange, who's kind of their, those nose guards, nose tackles don't get the best stats, but they are key to the defensive stopping the run, and Dominique Orange will be there in the middle clogging things up.
What do we know about the status of those corners coming in? I know you mentioned they've been banged up. Do we know? We're doing this on a Tuesday. Do we have any idea whether they play or not?
Oh, they're both out for the season.
Okay, done for the season. Okay, well, yeah. And here's one other issue for Iowa State, and that loss to Cincinnati. Cincinnati ran the ball really well against him. Tyree Walker, 14 for 89. Evan Pryor, 10 for 111 and 2 scores. Brendan Sorsby, their quarterback, runs 9 for 64. Get BYU with the mobile quarterback too, as we pointed out. So that could be a little problematic. The pass defense has still been, I guess, okay, even without those guys sometimes. But that's the thing that stands. I think Cincinnati's the game that's probably the most comparable game. It's probably – I mean, I say comparable in terms of quality of opponent. I think they're certainly a much better team than Colorado was, and now a team that, like a lot of teams in the Big 12, kind of control their own destiny. But that's something interesting too, is that I circled that game as a game where they moved the ball really well against Iowa State. And again, you got a BYU team that might be able to attack you similarly, and again, does not turn the ball over. Let's switch to the other side of the ball for just a minute. Brian, BYU's defense has just been really good this year. BYU giving up just 15.6 points a game. That ranks 14th in the country. Been pretty good both ways. 171 passing against, 122 rushing against, just 4.6 yards per play. They turn you over a little bit, 1.7 turnovers a game. Again, they don't turn it over much, just a little bit under one a game. But Utah can run the ball. Iowa State can run the ball a little bit. And we talked about Beck. He's an experienced quarterback. He brings a danger to the game for BYU. What are you seeing here?
Yeah, so Abu Sama, running back for Iowa State, is having a very good year. 481 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, 5.2 yards per carry. Average, and if Hansen can't go, that's more touches for him. And Sama had a big game when Iowa State beat BYU 45-13, actually in Provo 2 seasons ago. Now that was a kind of a rough year for BYU. They only went 5-7. But yeah, in that game, Sama, 110 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and in only 8 attempts. And Rocco Beck has had an outstanding year. 9-3 TDI-INT ratio, 7 rushing touchdowns. Is playing really good ball ever since that week 0 game back against K-State. And Sama's 8th in the Big 12 in rushing yards. So, and he spreads it around offensively. Beck does. Iowa State's got 3 wide receivers and 2 tight ends that all have at least 219 receiving yards or more. So, a lot of targets for BYU to deal with from the pass defense standpoint.
Let's get into picks and why. I'll start with you. Who are you taking this one? And then we'll get to over-under later.
I got to go Iowa State. I mean, they're 3-0 straight up at home this year, 2-0-1 ATS. They've won 9 of their last 10 at home. Now, on the flip side, BYU's been awesome on the road. They've won 8 of their last 9 road games. But this is the 6th game in 6 weeks, like I mentioned earlier, for BYU. And Iowa State's had 2 weeks to prepare. And, I think BYU is ready to lose a game. They've been undefeated a while. They've had some close calls. I think Iowa State in Ames finds a way to get it done and win outright.
Yeah, I have a little more trust in BYU, I think, than you do. Again, just so solid everywhere you look. They don't make mistakes. They run the ball well. Again, the injury to the cornerbacks kind of concerns me. Look, Matt Campbell's a really, really good coach. Got a lot of respect for him, and I hate it for Iowa State that it lost some guys like that. But this is the team, Brian, that's already gone on the road and done some stuff. It won 34-13 against an okay East Carolina team from the American Conference. Not what you'd be playing in the Big 12, but they went across the country and won it. Yeah, I mean, won at Colorado, not an easy place to play for a lot of reasons. I guess the altitude, they're used to that at BYU. And then won at Arizona, a pretty good team. I mean, they're just taking care of it. And then the Utah game last week. Utah is really, really good. I think for them to go and win that against a team that can really be physical on the lines of scrimmage, they got some pro talent there. To me, the home is a danger. You never know when Iowa State can dial it up even under adversity and win it with Matt Campbell. But I will take BYU to win this one. Let's go to the total. What's your opinion on that? Before we get to that, just a reminder, we are brought to you by Yearly Company, which is a Nashville-based fine jewelry brand built on tradition and designed for meaning. Each piece is handcrafted from solid 14-karat gold, natural gemstones, made to measure for a perfect fit, backed by a lifetime guarantee. Because every Yearly Company bangle is custom sized, knowing your size is the most important first step before ordering. That's where the sizing kit comes in. It's the perfect place to start, especially for husbands who want to have sizes ready now. So shopping closer to the holidays is effortless. Code SC16KIT takes 100% off your sizing kit at checkout. Also brought to you by Rockform, which makes the world's strongest magnetic phone case. Extreme protection, super strong magnets, Rock Lock secure mounting, SEC25 gets you 25% off your entire order, and get the vent clip for your phone case. That is just something you really want to have when you take phones in your car. Rockform or KFORM.com. Again, SEC25 gets you 25% off your entire order. Also brought to you by Hovey Dry Goods. I'm a Titans fan. My team stinks, but I love their Titans hats. Look no further than Hovey hats for high-quality headwear with a great fit and unique designs. Bad Beat, B-A-D-B-A-T, gets you 15% off your entire order at HoveyDryGoods.com. Brian, your opinion on the total here, what are you taking?
So the under is 4-3 overall for both teams. However, BYU has only had two. Oh no, I'm sorry. They've had three totals in the 40s, but the over's 2-1 in those games. And as for Iowa State, they have had let's see. Yeah, only two totals in the. Oh no, I'm sorry, three totals in the 40s, but the over 2-1 in both of those games. Iowa State just had 68 combined at Cincy, 53 at home to Arizona. So I'm going to go over the 49.5, I believe. Yes, 49.5.
Oh, okay. So my lean is kind of the other way. I just think BYU's defense is so good. And they're not a team that really, I guess, really hits the gas pedal. They just kind of control the ball, don't turn it over. They score points, but they score enough to win. But they're not going to put 50 on a lot of teams. So, and Iowa State will get a few points too. But I'm kind of against you there. I kind of like the under. If you're an SEC fan, I think what you're rooting for here is Iowa State. Iowa State's chances of the playoff are very slim. What you don't want if you're the SEC is for the Big 12 to get two teams in. That could very likely happen with both Texas Tech and BYU here. And again, there's some other teams that have a shot too, but right now, those are clearly your two best teams. Texas Tech took a loss to Arizona State last week. Showing you anything can happen in the Big 12, which I really like. It's super competitive. The games are pretty interesting most weeks. I know we're in SEC country, but the Big 12 is a fun league to watch. But your best chance to get extra teams in if you're the SEC, you want Iowa State to win this game. And then Texas Tech and BYU will play in a couple of weeks. So the loser takes a loss there, and then those two teams can meet again in the Big 12 title game. But anyway, enough of me and Brian. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be previewing some other out-of-conference games and, of course, all the SEC games this week. For Brian Edwards, I'm Chris Lee. God bless you guys. Thank you for watching. This is Southeastern 16 presented by FanDuel.